Alex Answer here, coming to you on a beautiful day in Alamosa, Colorado. Taking care of some errands, getting some propane, some food, some water. Got myself a pair of cheap sunglasses. Dun 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 dun. Well, actually, these were $16.99, so they weren't that cheap. I got a goal of mine to keep the gas expenses under 20 a week, if possible. So I'm driving from Alamosa to another place in Alamosa County, not going to Costilla. Going actually somewhere out in Alamosa County where I know is safe and I'm away from people and I can rest, and you know, it's a quiet area. And then my RV is running. Now, as far as the lack of power and the spark plug cables, I'm gonna get by for another week with what I've got. And then I'm going to go back to the mechanic's house, mechanic's residence off the grid. And then we're going to get the spark plug wires replaced. We're going to get the alternator belt replaced. Probably looking at, you know, 70, 80 bucks overall for that project, labor and parts. So that is next week. We're going to continue driving out of town now. Enjoy the rest of the day. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. It's always nice getting back off the grid when the sun is still out. Leaving Alamosa, start the day early. Got a lot done today. I'm actually feeling very, very good. You know, I'm laying off the cigarettes, and I was about to say I've been laying off the coffee. Now I got my coffee. But yeah, there's going to be more videos and dialogue coming soon. Alex Answer here. It is April 4th, 2016. Having a fairly good day for the most part. We've had a lot of sun, warm temperatures. I got into Alamosa earlier today, took care of some grocery shopping, got enough for at least a week, actually 2 weeks if I spread it out. Got some propane, got some water. I'm going to be getting exercise out here outside the box of the gym. I'm going to be staying clean out here. I found a safe place to park that's not on private property. You know, it's still in the real world, but it's outside the city. And I am working on maintaining that zen and the art of living in my RV. You know, there's no one around for miles, so I have that sense of peace. I feel like I'm able to, you know, access my own creativity and focus. This is actually one of the main reasons why for years I've been dreaming of an off-grid TV studio, you know, to where I tap into my creativity, and for hours every day I either do a radio show and or videos and or maintain my multiple websites. For those that don't know, there are still some websites that I have yet to really promote and launch, dealing with some of the subjects as discussed on this YouTube channel. So I'm creating custom websites. One is just about solar flares, solarmaxnews.com. One's going to be all about these world leaders conspiring with other world leaders and corporations. This global military-industrial complex conspiring with others to build this global new world order after a staged world war. That's World War Zero, the number zero.com. And so, you know, for years, I have covered a wide variety of content. Even if I go through some of these challenges in my own life, what I have that some others don't have is content. And that's why some people attack me. I also speak out about the unconscious behavior that I see in relationships. And certain men, certain women will flip out. I also know there are some good women that are watching this channel. There are some women that watch this channel that have been respectful to me, and they know that when I talk about the unconscious behavior of some women in the world, and literally telling you literally how some people, some women that are on the darker side, how they treat me. They treat me literally like shit. They literally talk about me, treat me, talk down to me like I'm some sort of a demon. You know, they talk about me like I'm the devil, even if some of them are atheists. Regardless of the fact that some of you are new viewers, you know, and you're on the fence whether or not we're alone in the universe, and whether or not, you know, there are certain factors that cause certain people to go ape shit. The truth is, I am seeing a reoccurring pattern of certain females and males that are way out of balance, that almost seem to take on this archetype of this entity that hates Alex Ansary for some reason. And this happens especially to people that don't know me well or never got a chance to know me well. You know, I think back to 2012 when the homosexual man by the name of, who cares what his name is? And I didn't know he was homosexual. Nobody warned me. But I had a strong feeling that my sexuality, being a heterosexual male, even though I'm fairly open-minded and non-judgmental of other people, unless they try to, of course, manipulate me, get something from me, or, wish that my sexuality was different, show some sort of disappointment because I'm a straight male. I feel that is unconscious behavior of some of these homosexual men and women, but in particular men that I have had some dealings with. And so this person went on to call me a homeless bum, a mooch, simply because I was staying on property that I did not own. And he was in the game of let me attack Alex's emotions to the best of my ability. Since that time, the way that he treated me, that type of mindset, we don't like you here, you're poor. Well, this guy was collecting money, welfare off the government. There was a friend of his by the name of Robin, also living off the grid in Costilla County. And what she is doing is she's doing the same thing that Paul was doing. And I've been told by a few people that they've heard some of this talk. Alex will bring the FBI to your house. Alex is a thief. Alex, you can't trust him. And it's like the things that they're saying, even though some of you, are on the fence with this concept of archonic interference, people going demonic on people, the rise in sociopathic, psychotic, narcissistic behavior, especially in our culture in the last few years. When I see these people go off and they start flaring around like there's some sort of a demon, and this includes Kyle's behavior down in Taos, New Mexico, they're acting like they're targeted individuals. So now at this point, I have to be very careful the people that I get involved with. Now, I never got involved with Robin because, the way that she looked at me with hatred at some of the public meetings in Costilla County, I pick up on that energy and I pick up on those thoughts. And so I never got close to her. And I always saw her as like an argumentative, angry person. So what's also happening with the situation with Kyle, with the situation with her, the situation with a few other people, is I'm understanding that some of the things that I think is going on, in my third eye or my intuition, absolutely is going on. When you think about someone and they call, or you think about someone and you get a text from them, and then you feel this hatred from someone, and then they attack you later. Or, you feel someone obsessing on your energy, obsessing on you, and then they later cause a disturbance. I'm having more and more of these experiences. I'm having more and more of these experiences, and I'm gonna talk about this right now in this video. I'm also realizing that when we go to sleep at night between the 2 and 5 period, the witching hour centering around 3:30, there's a reason why the bars close at 2:30, but that is a very spiritual time, paranormal time, not necessarily negative or dark. It can also be a time where, you get an insight from your higher self. And so, the thing that people loosely call dreams, the world of the dreamland, it's bigger than just something you can put into a box. Dream versus non-dream. There are certain things that happen when you're sleeping that you may think is a dream, that in fact is a mind hijack, where you're being implanted with thoughts, where you're being turned against someone, where someone is entering your consciousness that or entering your dream realm, and they're playing this bad character. There could be interference that you don't know about in your relationship life that's trying to make someone look good or someone look bad, and it may not be accurate. Other examples that I can provide, though, of something other than a dream, a knowing, where you're half awake and you're half asleep. You may actually even, open your eyes to see, how dark it is outside, which I often do during the witching hour. And you'll be going in and out of not what I would call a dream, but a reality where you're accessing real information to where everything makes sense. Now, that's also a time where you can wake up out of that and write your, what some call a dream, what some call a download. You can write that down, or maybe write it down or do a video about it first thing in the morning. Some mornings I have the energy for something like that, especially if I eat first thing in the morning and I get some exercise. I'm taking care of my body, and I'm staying off the cigarettes. Right now I'm staying off the cigarettes. And the reality is smoking really fucks up, I believe, your auric field, although it can be repaired. But while you're smoking and while you're allowing that substance into your body, it throws off the third eye, it throws off the heart chakra, it throws off the other energy centers, and it throws off your overall mood from that point, your consciousness. One of the reasons some of us that are super sensitive, why we smoke, why we struggle, because we know that can shut down our awareness levels because we're hyper aware and we could be picking up on certain things. And I'll notice certain periods where I'm not strong enough when I'm going from a rural environment back into the city or around people. I'll go for that, red organic, as it's called, pouch of American Spirits. And I will turn down the sensitivity. And ultimately, it's not a healthy thing to adapt to that way of coping. It's not good for the voice. So today, part of what made today good was maintaining a positive outlook, going into Alamosa, saying in my mind, I'm going to go here, then I'm going to go here. I'm going to get my work done at amtvmedia.com. I'm going to go meet up with this person real quick. I'm going to go get some potatoes over here. I'm going to make sure I remember to buy some cleaning supplies in the form of several packages of paper towels so I can really scrub the heck out of this RV while I'm parked here at this quiet spot. There's a little bit of geoengineering going on today. That's okay. I'm embracing the fact that I am gifted with this experience. And I realize there's more of you that are rooting for me instead of against me, that understand the adventures that I'm on, that are viewers that have been watching for several years. I also have to be patient with some of you that are new viewers that ultimately know nothing about me and what I've been through and what I've seen and why I seek this life of freedom outside the city. Some of you are not familiar with my past. You're not familiar with my life in Portland. You've never seen an episode of Outside the Box TV. For those of you that have seen those things, you understand why city living is not for me. You understand why I don't approach women I don't know or make myself just randomly available to any woman that wants to have contact with me. I talk about my experiences dealing with people, men and women, and because I'm not a homosexual, I'm a heterosexual male, my relationships, my sexual adventures have been with the female species. And so, a big part of me going my own way, and I really should give this more time in another video, there is a connection between MGTOW, the spiritual path, and the off-the-grid lifestyle. Because urban living today, a lot of it is about worshiping the female young body. And whether people admit this or not, most people are still in the dark about this. Their egos are very much attached to this worldview that, humanity is waking up and we're becoming more conscious and loving, when in reality, there is more gender discrimination. Some could call it reverse discrimination because there was discrimination before. Some people believe that it is just, that it's the time for the woman to step on the man. We're not talking about all women. And some of the females watching this know that. And I'm not going to say that every video, but every now and again, I am going to say it. Because there is a major difference between some of you and some of the women that are out there in the world. Some of you realize this. Most of you realize this now. I think there was more denial about this a couple years ago. And so, there's more women now that see, especially those that are older, that are no longer 18 years old with the really, really, really firm rack, as some people choose to call it. Like, why do people call it a rack anyway? Or an ass? What really is a tit? I mean, balls, cock. I mean, the names that humans come up, pussy. Why compare that to a cat? The names even that people come up for their body parts is just, it's primitive. It's primitive, and it's not something that I feel is all that evolved. The very fact that we're a species, where a certain amount of the species will write on a bathroom wall, and that's a part of our society where people go and they number two, that people write these insane things, and they really show you what's inside their mind, their archonic consciousness. Call this number for a good time. And that probably started back in the day where people would actually write down people's real numbers. I don't know what the hell they're writing nowadays. Maybe giving you somebody's Facebook page? I don't know. Yeah, for a good time, add this guy on Facebook. Or this gal. So, you know what? I'm smiling. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I could see the universe working through people. I could see God working through people in this county and elsewhere. I have not been abandoned. Oh, I have art thou forsaken. I do not feel up on the cross right now forsaken. I feel blessed. I acknowledge that blessing. I am grateful and I recognize the Creator. And I ask the Creator to help me see the next path that is waiting for me. I'm grateful that it's April. It's only going to get warmer. I looked at the weather report. We're looking at the mid-60s. There's going to be days where I'm going to be not getting butt naked, folks, but I'll be taking off my shirt. I'll be working out under the sun. I'll be pushing it to the limit. Push it to the limit. Pushing it to the limit, Alex Ansary style, going the distance and all that. Oh, one more. Check this out. So a couple months ago, I ordered one of those punching bags where you fill it. And I left the property where I was staying. I mentioned, and I need to tell that story, that there was some sort of domestic quarreling at this place where I stayed at in Antonito. I have an update for you. But I had something mailed to that address, and it's a punching bag where you fill up the punching bag. So, I'll take some old clothes, or maybe find something else of weight. Maybe in certain environments, I may just fill it with sand, with actual sand. Perhaps in other bags to keep it from getting dirty to put in the bigger bag. And when I'm at a mechanic's place, where someone has, a drill or maybe some welding equipment, I want to build a rack that kind of comes off of the RV. It's kind of an arm that swivels out. And then that arm that swivels out will hold the punching bag. And basically, I'll have my on-the-go gym connected to the RV. So that's an accessory I'm going to add. So let me tell you about the story regarding the dysfunctional couple. Now, the male was always friendly to me. I'm not speaking ill of him. And he was, I'm not going to speak specifics about their problems. The update is that she is gone. Now, yesterday I made a video that someone named Anna Connor added me and trolled me. You homeless bum, you stink. Literally, you stink, you bum, you thief, you eat. And I talked about, this other person that filled her mind with all these false allegations. Oh no, Alex will bring the FBI. Oh no, be afraid. Oh no, Alex must be homeless for a reason. Oh no, Alex is a thief. Like no evidence whatsoever. There's no reason why I would need to steal from someone else. I talk about karma. I talk about creating our reality mindfully, not just having whatever you can, but literally how we in some ways do create our reality. And speaking out against those things that are done to other people. And speaking about consciousness, I have no reason to steal. I talked about being in this house, but I perhaps didn't give you enough details. This person constantly Facebook messaging me to get involved in their relationship, constantly saying, come inside and eat some food that I cooked for you, that I was told that she stole from her job at La Puente, homeless shelter, where she works the overnight shift. We're talking about Danielle. Danielle of La Puente, homeless shelter in Alamosa, Colorado, steals food from La Puente for her own because she grew up in poverty, because she saw people starving where she is from in Eastern Europe. So she has, according to what I've been told, adopted that thieving way of life. She's also facing charges, or was facing charges, in Costilla County for horse theft. So this is someone that initially invited me to the property and then turned on me because I didn't want to get involved in their domestic problems. Just like with Kyle, I don't want to hang out with him all the time smoking off a cigarette, telling him you're cool, man, you're cool. So some of the reasons some of these people have turned on me is because I won't play their games. I want to stay in my RV and work on my stuff. I don't come over to other people's places to get involved in their personal life inside their house or inside their bus or inside their mobile home. I have boundaries. And so some of the people that are inviting me to some of those places are trying to infiltrate and cross my boundaries. But long story short, this person added or created a fake account, Anna Connor. So adds me on Facebook to see everything that's on my Facebook page and then pretends to be somebody else. Again, this person had an obsession with dogs, and the fake profile that she picked was a woman literally making out with a dog using like the tongue. Anna Connor on Facebook loves a dog more than a man. Yeah, it definitely exemplifies the psychology of some women on this planet at this time that prefer a dog over a man. Some, not all. That's another video for another time. There was a rise, by the way, in stories online last week of women having sex with dogs and facing charges. Now, I've never seen a spat of stories. And I mentioned with other stories, we're talking about the face-eating attacks, the supposed bath salt attacks, that I don't believe bath salts are the cause. I believe these people are being affected by periodic possessions of human beings. This channel doesn't cater to people that are on the fence for years. And for years in the future, I'm going to deal with people telling me that this is just a physical world and human nature is just human nature. When in reality, they seem to know very little about where human nature is going, how human nature can be controlled, how human nature can be influenced. So despite the fact that we live in a world of science where mankind is toying with mice, where we have our own micro petri dishes, due to their ignorance, due to their ego, due to the fact that they don't want to know the truth. People will stay in a box of we are the only things that exist in this reality. Or they'll spend time obsessing on trying to define and draw an archon instead of realize that archon is a general term used to describe all demons, all jinn, all dark ETs, all grays. It's the archonic realm the Gnostics wrote about. That other spiritual texts and some religions allude to with different words for the devil, different words for demon. But ultimately, mankind for thousands of years has alluded to the fact that there is an unseen hand over human reality. And it's not just politics, it's human relationships. So being someone that talks about those things and talking about the fact that most of humanity is afflicted with this condition, being connected archon consciousness, being able to be influenced, to have their personality shift 180. And because of the things that I talk about, when I encounter some of those people, and some of those encounters are traps where someone invites me to a certain place so they can literally shift their personality 180 and go, here's Johnny, here's Kyle, here's Danielle, Alex is the devil. And then they just start ranting and raving and foaming at the mouth and throwing things. They're no longer themselves. So it's actually not a good thing for me anymore to just be meeting random people. If you're in a situation of not knowing how you feel about me sharing this information, whether you believe it or not, that's on you. That's not on me. Okay. To the best of my ability, I am speaking the truth. I am speaking from my heart. I'm speaking about the real experiences that I've had. Certain people will just say, oh, Alex must be doing something wrong. He's a homeless. There's no way somebody would be traveling this long in their lifetime while also sharing media. It is the actual content of my channel and whatever frequency I'm vibrating, especially when I am strong and I am healthy. That's another thing. I'm noticing more archonic interference in some stages when I'm becoming healthier and stronger that wants to keep me moving, worried about the next step, worried about where I'm going to go, not in a state of peace. And so right now, I am bringing in that state of peace to make up for those moments where it's been turbulent. And I appreciate the sound of the birds, even though there's no trees around for miles. I appreciate this bright sun, even though there's geoengineering. I appreciate the fact that my RV was able to get into town, even though there's some other improvements that are going to be made with the spark plug wires in the next week. I feel so grateful. I feel so protected. I feel so blessed. I can see the weakness of the archons. If anyone thinks that I'm giving them more credit than what they deserve, They don't understand where I'm going with this. Most people don't even begin the process of breaking free from archonic programming. There's great denial of this fact. I'm not going to stroke anyone's ego that the world is waking up. That's not what I'm seeing out of human society. That's not the behavior that I'm seeing from today's man, today's woman in the city, or even rule out here. I'm not seeing the sense of love. Man, I'm seeing a scary reality where, what are people going to say next? Lock all the homeless people, all the homeless bums up that don't have anything, and just gas them? I'm not seeing compassion from Americans that should know better about what's going on in our economy. I'm not seeing, Americans appreciate the young man who's going to work for himself, that's going to report on Costilla counties or on off-the-grid living. This is not the same society that it was several years ago. Several years ago, people like me wouldn't be roving around from place to place. Somebody would say something to somebody. We got to get this guy on some property. Somebody would say something. You just wouldn't let me go completely and just hope I survive the ordeal and not off myself. The only reason I don't off myself is because I believe now at this point, doing that type of shit, thinking you're going to run from this, only trap you deeper into this type of a world. Killing yourself is the worst thing you can do. I'm telling you. There's a reason the Archons want to attack people's consciousness, say, you're a bum, you're nothing, you're a nigger, you're a white cracker, you're a spick, you're a chink, you're this, you're that, and that group's coming after you. You need to live in fear. Fear of growing old, fear of being single, fear of being undesired by society. So most people are stuck in this prison. The peer pressure groups, and a lot of women, especially young women in today's day and age in society, they're affected by those things. And only a smaller percentage of those women become greater awake women that literally break the chains of the peer pressure group. Who gives a fuck what mom thinks? Who gives a fuck what dad thinks? If you're in the right and you're following your dreams, who gives a fuck? Look, if that man is trying to hold you back from freedom, he's not a good man. He may be paying the bills. He may be loving you a certain way. He may get you off. He may be the only man that's ever got you off. Don't let that be the thing that imprisons you to him. Sovereignty. Freedom. In all its forms. That should be our goal. There's different ways that we can achieve this freedom. And again, there's a reason why I'm a single man. It doesn't mean that I put up a wall to all females, but I have put up a wall to females that play games. Absolutely. And they can feel it. And some people know that it's there subconsciously, but not consciously. They watch a few videos and go, oh, this guy's not like the others. In their mind, oh, he's not approachable. No. He can't be manipulated anymore in the same ways that I can be manipulated. No woman could just walk up to me and just grab me by the crotch and go, you ready to go? I'm no longer 23 years old. There was a day and an age and time where it might have been go time. This is not that time. I have declared my sovereignty from the addictions and pleasures of the flesh. And I've gone through different stages of this. And I feel like right now I'm crossing I'm crossing a bridge. I'm on the bridge now. I'm in transition. I'm going in the solar cycle. I'm preparing to go into the minimum to prepare myself for the rest of my life. I can feel this reset right now as the sun comes pouring down. We're also following some heightened geomagnetic activity from the last few days. So when I see people create fake accounts, troll me on Facebook, you bum, you stinky bum. This person washed your laundry. This person made you food. No. This person tried to pull me into a very sick matrix. So I'm thinking, why would this person have this information? And then, of course, it was told to me, oh, that was a fake account. This person is clearly mentally affected with something. Rage. I just want to summarize the point that I already started on. Some of you are going, well, how can there be something coordinated behind the way that they attack you? I would assume, Alex, that it's not some outside interference, but this is just kind of random anger. This is kind of how people are. Fact of the matter is, every few months or every few weeks, the haters will rotate. And when I go on public and I talk about a recent crisis with someone, it's like something out there is monitoring my pain threshold or how much pain I'm going through. And if I'm going through a great deal of pain, that is the time that hater number 2 or 3 that will be repeating the same false script about me. You're a thief, you're a bum, you're no good, your content sucks. They usually try to stay away from the content, and they act like they don't know me, and they just go for this you're a bum thing because it's obvious that I have shown myself to be emotionally affected by my situation. So I am vulnerable. I've shown myself at times to be vulnerable to emotional manipulation through those below the belt attacks without even recognizing who I actually am, which is why they won't talk about the content of the channel or the good stuff. They'll just try to kick below the belt multiple times. Not really a intelligent way, but kind of like a wild, rabid animal kind of a way. Who actually, in fact, is kicking themselves, self-destructing. But as they're self-destructing and going through whatever spiral, they somehow see my light and become angry. Something about my light, my frequency, literally makes some people angry when I'm around them. Having actually lived in a major city and gone into a place where I know people don't know me in other cities and seeing people just like look at me and stare at me. When I'm at the gym in Alamosa, which I'm not a big fan of, there are a couple fucking weirdos in there that don't know how to focus on their own workout, you know? And I may start working out there again. And I'm just going to have to, nod my head and look right back at them if that type of behavior is going to continue. I'll notice that if my spirits are strong, those things don't happen. Those people, those men don't do that. It's when I'm feeling weak, hungry, alone, tired, scared, something that activity increases. So I've seen how somehow these humans on this earth are taking cues from something else that's more aware than they are of my emotional state and my overall health, spiritual, physical, and mental. The stronger I am, the more the trolls stay away. The weaker I appear, the more drama I share on the channel about my shortcomings, the more people will comment. And then some I wouldn't call trolls, but people will come out of the closet that haven't come out of the closet, that haven't commented in months, to say that's why you should be in the city, without realizing they are consumed with that machine-like system consciousness, that grid consciousness. Well, maybe you should go back to the city. That's why off the grid doesn't work. Listen, in the fucking city, I've had more issues with the car, more issues with the police, more issues with people. So what I notice is people saying stupid things. And no offense to some people that, have unknowingly said stupid things, but every now and then people go, well, you can come over to my place, Alex. I'm over here like 3,000 miles away from you. Like, giddy up. Like, what do you think? I have a free energy power thing? What do you think? I fucking pedal this thing? Like, how many of you know that even with gas where it is, it's like $1,500 to get to where you are? If I had that money, I'd get some land. What's happening to brains these days? Are brains turning to butter? Or are we evolving, friends? Are we evolving? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And, maybe some people just want to feel good about themselves. And that's cool. You reached out. Hey, if I'm ever in the ghetto of California, I don't know if I'm planning to head there this month, feel like a little gin and juice myself. Long Beach, West Side. Oh, yeah, Alex Ansary, West Side, the beach. Yeah, the ladies. Maybe I'll be a ladies' man, like a shorter Mark Dice with a microphone and a fucking little, hey, how you doing, Americans? Tell me how stupid you are. Yeah, that's the Alex Ansary that you want to see. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the offers. I appreciate the kind thoughts. Honestly, folks, just think about this. How much sense does it make for me to use donations? Would that be fair of my audience? Hey guys, I need some help. Please donate to Alex Chancery. Oh, I'm going to go to California and go live in the fucking streets. And as they go, sir, you can't park here. This is California. There's a reason Californians are going to Portland, It's like, what are people thinking? So, I had this one guy going, Alex, I want you to come live with me in the Midwest. And it was really creepy that someone would take the time to make me, the very fact that someone would donate and personally make me messages and just stop talking to me because I'm saying, dude, I'm not going to fucking come to your house. I think that's kind of creepy that that's your focus. that you're trying to derail the content of this channel and that you want me to come to your house. Dude, no. I'm not going to live with random viewers of this channel. And for you to even be offended for a second makes you even more suspicious. That you can't even stay on topic, that you clearly have shown yourself to have an agenda to get me to live with you. To go from sending an email every hour, I don't mind hearing from you once a month, bro, or once a week. It's the obsession. So, again, some of you are great people. Some of you are going to offer your hand in friendship in the future, and that's awesome. We're still going to have to bounce some emails before I come and visit you, if that's the case. Someone actually may be offering me some work here in Southern Colorado, and that's something that I will jump on. Granted, we talk a little bit, and so far it's looking positive. And I'd like to meet more people out there. Again, I don't know if I said this enough lately. I love when someone offers me work. It's so rare when it happens. It never happens. When someone says, hey, Alex, I need someone to watch my property so nobody burns it down. It's all legal, or it's in the middle of nowhere, or there's a place you can hide your RV, like a shed. Code enforcement won't even see it. That is awesome. That is awesome, dude. Or if someone says, hey, Alex, got a job for $10 an hour. Just need to watch this for a certain amount of time, or watch my pets, or we need to get this garden ready. We need to pluck these potatoes. I need your help lifting these beams. It's a real simple fence job. And, I have insurance in the vehicle. I have AAA. Right now it's running, and I have plans to get repairs, so hopefully it'll run with more power, instead of where it's at currently. But I'm feeling very positive and optimistic about the future. So, I want people to reach their hand out to me in friendship where we make a fair trade. Fair trade, no, not me coming and using your space heater. I don't need that. I don't need anyone for anything. I have my own power. It's amazing how people run around an RV without their own power and internet. I've got that. I can literally be here for weeks. I've got water, I've got food, I've got propane. I don't have to go anywhere. But you know what? It is good for me to have a positive connection with other human beings. I want to have my hands in the dirt a little bit this season. I want to feel that natural serotonin. I want to get a bicep, tricep, workout, not from just the dumbbells. We're doing some shadow boxing, but actually lifting heavy steel beams that weigh hundreds of pounds and helping someone actually build their home. Man, I've got power. I've got strength. Don't some of you find it weird that I have offered my free services to people? And I've even had trouble finding like minds. The reality is, when you're someone like me, and you're not just an off-the-gritter, you're not just a young single male, but you're someone that lives in a controversial world, to where spiritually it's like you're at war with the Eye of Sauron, and that's who I am. Spiritually, I am at war with the controllers that control what people see as the five sense physical reality. And I have always been that way. Since I was a child, I even had some of these encounters, sleep paralysis, and it happens to some kids, some more than others. To where a spirit comes after them because of something that they will go on to do later in their adulthood. Something wants to frighten them, control them. Perhaps it's something that their parents were involved in. That may have been my case, the age of 8. And my mom's involvement at that time with the Seattle, Washington New Age movement of the 1980s. Chock full of Archon, alien, dark ET energy. Masquerading, of course, as Ashtar. Archangel Michael, and other false saviors. Of course, I've called the mainstream New Age movement external saviorship theology. Oh, something outside of ourselves will help us. Oh, the dark ETs have been removed by the good ETs. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're speaking about that physical reality. It's already been removed. You're being negative. Oh, you're creating it. You're creating it. And it's literally the same psycho babble. And I call it out every fucking time. Someone actually called me. Susan, I don't know if you're watching this channel, but nobody has the right to call me on my cell phone. If you find that private number, it's for emergencies only. And this person is screaming about the whole world's waking up. Whoa! She's confused her own experience with maybe being in a very special part of North America, being that she's also in the San Luis Valley. And apparently she saw my show years ago. Apparently I must have interviewed her at one point. I remember now where I interviewed her. All I'm saying is, People get it confused when they say that the world is waking up, when in fact the world's become a very scary place if someone found themselves here to this place of passage and safety and refuge. Then I would say that's a very positive thing for themselves. So I would really caution against this blind faith. The whole world is waking up. There's going to be this mass arrest of the bankers. I advocate the individual shift in consciousness over the collective shift in consciousness, and I distance myself from people that show themselves to be obsessed and yelling and screaming about the whole world waking up. Because if that was the case, people that were involved in the waking up process wouldn't be left on the street for dead. There wouldn't be so many people affected with this archon consciousness, distrusting them, calling them untrustable, calling them suspicious. Oh, if that person was over here, there would be trouble. That's not waking up. That is a population that is affected by the Babylonian programming. That doesn't mean that we can't wake ourselves up. Look at all these people that are supporting Sanders, Clinton, and Trump. And of course, I've actually gotten into this in a recent podcast. Now, what I've also noticed from the recent video that I posted about Bernie Sanders, and I'm just going to say this now. I've always viewed Trump supporters as more aggressive. I just assume that because of some of the mean comments that some people have made when I've talked about the Trump deception. The Bernie Sanders supporters seem far more vile. And there were other, comments fantasizing about attacking Kif Davis and also really stupid people. They kept saying, you anarchist. I have not described myself to be an anarchist. And I say in the description, video by Kif Davis. Or featuring Kif Davis, video by Robert West. That's not my video, but I have permission from both of them to mirror that video. It wasn't stolen. I have permission to mirror that video. Just because I mirror something doesn't mean that I'm the anarchist who needs to get my ass kicked. So, it was really educational seeing Bernie Sanders supporters talk some mad shit from a fairly uneducated perspective, getting that wrong, first of all, assuming that when they use the word you, no, they're not talking to Kif Davis. Kif Davis isn't getting updates to that YouTube video. So, I look at videos like that of the Bernie Sanders mob, and I see where places like Portland, not just Portland, but I use Portland as an example because I'm from there. You might be from Oklahoma City. You might be from LA. You might be from New York. You might be from Miami, Florida. Oh, God bless you if you made it out of some of those places. Oh, Tampa. Oh, dear God, there must be angels in your life. Dallas, Texas. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, I keep getting contacted over the years by people. They're trying to free themselves from their spiritual enslavement. When they contact me and they say they're coming up here and they don't make it up here, they may not know it. I'm going to tell them right now, something's keeping you in those places. Something has a hold of you. For 3 years now, you've said you're coming out here. 4 years now. You've never made it out here. What, you can't plan a vacation? You can't decide, well, on this vacation, I'm actually going to go out there. I'm not just going to stay at home and, watch reruns of Cheers or Family Guy, whatever the fuck's on TV. Malcolm in the Middle? I don't know, man. And so having seen people for 3 or 4 years, dozens and dozens and dozens of people, Alex, we're going to do this. Costilla County. Huh, 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 huh. Earthship bag, mutual respect, no fighting, free love. Okay, nobody says free love. The women don't say free love. We're in a different era of time now, buddy. No, Alex, we're gonna do this. There's been a few females saying, yeah, Alex, I really want to meet you. I'm gonna call you. They don't make it up. Nobody makes it up. It's like this area keeps them out. Maybe they're meant to be here. Maybe they're not meant to be here. I'm not here to make that call. I'm here right now saying something relating to that is causing that. Maybe they are meant to be here and something is keeping them tied to Dallas, tied to the South, tied to Denver, tied to Portland, never leaving, never escaping. That song, you belong to the city, near, 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 you belong to the night, near, 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 living in a something of darkness under the neon light. And I used to think about that song. You were born in the city, concrete under your feet. It's in your bones, it's in your blood. You're a man of the street. You know, that's my life, man. That's my song. Portland, Oregon, USA. You know, I used to love that place. You know, the mid 90s coming up as a kid, you know, and wanting to get involved in cool stuff downtown and have an apartment downtown and date downtown girls and drink downtown and buy cigarettes downtown and wear a trench coat that I bought downtown, Nordstrom Rack. Gangsta. Alex Ansary, young, wannabe wise guy. Oh, those were the days, 1998. Leather gloves, blunt weapons. Boom! You're just ready for anything the city's got to throw at me. And later, drugs. The evil city got a hold of me and bam! Went off like a rocket. And all that whole time, just angels guiding me out of that experience once I was ready. But there was a part of me that was wild child. Wild. And then 2002, 3, the spiritual things that was going on in my mind, the 111 on the clock, listening to Coast to Coast AM, reading David Icke's books, coming across Alex Jones and his earlier material when he was a different person. Moving on from that one. Consult the Alex Jones Deception series for more information. Coming to a theater near you. And so those earlier years and that setting in Portland, beautiful apartment, mini apartment room I was renting on Hawthorne on 50th. You know, 9/11 already happened. The invasion of Iraq was about to start. But I mean, I experienced the golden years for myself, for Alex Ansary. Alex Ansary's golden years of living in Portland, Oregon do happen to include 2002 and 2003. So there's periods where I was clean and sober from that brief downtown experience. You know, then that haunting reoccurred several times. And the drug obsession poltergeist, if you will, returned in late 2003. And then moving on into alternative media in mid 2004. Here I go, telling my life story again. But I started my TV show during some positive times in Portland, Oregon. And I've met some interesting women that will always be on my mind in those years of 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. I still think about you, Angel from Beaverton, Oregon, although I doubt you're watching this YouTube channel. Think about all of you that I've met with and talked with in the Portland, Oregon area. And now looking back again, I'm so grateful that I'm no longer in a place of such great suffering. Everything that I need to learn about gender wars, the New World Order, monetizing relationships, prostitution theology in regular relationships, ways that good men are hurt by this society, ways that good men that are true independent thinkers sometimes end up homeless, ways that homeless people sometimes go crazy because of the way society treats them, because they have nowhere to shower, all those things and more. How people get pulled into these, you know, gangster realities and, you know, some of these martial artists that end up MMA fighters that end up, some of them with drug problems, you know, because they're chasing these empty dreams that lead nowhere. All those things and more I've learned from Portland, Oregon. And Portland, Oregon for me has been a massive classroom. And again, that is why I reference Portland, Oregon, even if some of you have your own experiences that sound very similar in your own states and cities. But the fact of the matter is, Portland, Oregon is a place like other places that I believe has a date with disaster. And it is long overdue. Some could say whether we're looking at the earthquake predictions and the fact that, you know, like clockwork, every so many hundreds of years, 300, 350, there's a major 9.0 earthquake in the Cascadia subduction zone. And so you combine that with a large population, maybe a power outage caused by a solar flare, maybe other factors, maybe world war, and the way that Portland would be affected. You also think about the potential of a military draft in this country, how it would affect the energy and moods of the people that live in these cities where there are police officers that may be arresting some people. You think about a situation where they start arresting and locking up Muslims in this country, and you would have a lot of chaos and protests and fear and panicking in major cities where a lot of these people live. Muslims predominantly um, live in urban areas in the United States and have assimilated in some way, shape, or form to this system, whether it be going to college. They're not living off the grid in the middle of nowhere. So there's a reason. There's a reason they're making it more difficult for people to live off the grid. There's a reason that HUD, and we'll talk more about that in another video, but Google, will tiny homes be illegal in April of this year? There's some federal ruling that's coming up this month, this year, that may change this federal land use code and how they view living in an RV or tiny home. So this is going to be a very interesting development. So whatever lifestyle, this is, this isn't some typical homeless bum experience, as most of you understand. This is keeping my spirits up while on the road and creating media. Very specific combination of factors. Trying to keep myself clean and in good spirits and in good shape, really. I want to be in good, strong health. Even though I'm living in an RV and not be, chain smoking and struggling with these toxic emotions about my economic status or the fact that I'm a single male. And, I haven't talked to blood relatives in a long time because I feel like I'm a weirdo to a lot of them. And the reality is, that is the case. I am viewed a certain way by all my blood relatives. And that's why I choose to stick to myself. It's a way that I've been treated all these years. So I do feel like I'm living out this modern Indian experience and being biologically and genetically what I am. I do feel genetically, by the way, I don't say this every day, but that I represent almost a new human. And for that reason alone, and the fact that I'm also creative and I've created a lot of content that sometimes exposes the bullshit that others participate in, it's going to make people mad. People are going to be angry when they come across my content, or just knowing that I'm a person that discusses aspects of our society and bullshit people play on each other that may relate to them and the bullshit that they play on other people, or the bullshit candidates that they happen to believe in, or the bullshit lies about people in other countries that they choose to subscribe to. So as long as I'm living a lifestyle where I'm speaking out against these massive deceptions, and I'm living in my RV, and I'm of a mixed race, darker background that some people don't even know what it is. Some people just see me as a white guy. Some people see me as an Arab. Afghans aren't Arabs, by the way. Some people just see me as whatever. Some people will see me as Hispanic, and they might call me a spick. And some, believe it or not, see me as a bona fide Jew boy. Absolutely. There's a fair amount of comments that do come in on my YouTube channel that are totally calling me a Jew boy. And there's hundreds of comments that have come in assuming that I'm wearing a toupee because of the way my hair grows or something. It's apparently that offensive to some people that they literally think they're seeing someone in a toupee, or they're that offended by my hair growth or pattern, or they're that offended rather by my content that they feel a need to stoop to such a low level, which really says more about themselves than me. So, I'm going to wrap up this video and close. As long as I continue to be Alex S. Ansary, and as long as I continue to speak certain truths, there's going to be certain people try to play certain traps on me. There's going to be certain people out there that will always call me a homeless bum, that will not recognize my content. And I do recognize all the positive comments and emails that have come in recently, even if I don't necessarily get back right away. I feel like I am recovering the last few days from whatever was going on down in house. I mean, I really don't know how to say this. I feel like a different Alex Ansary energetically. Even though I was going to the gym and I was having some positive conversations down there, I feel so much more at peace being here. And in a way, I feel more at peace here than in Costilla County, where there are tensions there. Not just the county, the code enforcers. We're talking about some of the people that live in Costilla County that have lived there for years that do nothing but talk shit about their neighbor. Like Robin, the woman with the yeggs, who's part of the off-grid community. calling me apparently a thief. Wherever I go, the FBI comes. I mean, this is just absolute. I mean, it is, again, when you see people separated by a few years and a few months spit out the same script, and when it only seems to come at a moment when I'm in a period of either needing help or I've fallen and I just need to be recognized like a regular human and not treated like a piece of shit. It's when I'm in a state of suffering and pain that those attacks come. When I'm in a period of happiness and strength and having strong access to the sun, it's like there's a lot more positive that's coming. So I'm actually seeing, I guess you can even say, a law of attraction or whatever right now happening through you guys. And, seeking to talk deeper about some of these spiritual truths that I believe that I should be sharing on this channel, hearing people say that's actually helping them, and hearing comments like this increase, these are some real positive signs that I'm on the right track. Last thing that I'll say, so one of the days where Kyle and Taos at Food Not Bombs, one of the days where he came out and started attacking me verbally, was one of those days where I was sitting, meditating under the sun for a period of 1 hour. And I literally was charging up my auric field. And on the day where he flipped out and attacked the camera, I had a pretty good bench. And so whether it be spiritual, psychological, getting AlexAnsweryTV.tv back online, and now I'm about to start working on some other websites here at this location. Spiritual, physical, mental, spiritual, and then the meditation under the sun. So accomplishing a number of different things. I also mentioned physical, quitting cigarettes, going back to the gym, and that experience and how good that felt when I was going to that place. It was like a high energy place in a way. Felt so energized every time I left that place, but also so drained and so vampired on the minute I stepped back on the Food Not Bombs property managed by Kyle Butler. For the founder, Keith, while he was away in California. So what I'm trying to say is I noticed a big connection between myself being in a meditative state that day in Taos and one of the days that Kyle chose to attack me. And so obviously this feeble attack that's really working at a low, unintelligent level, but also mean below the belt, very below the belt, operating through people like a channel, the way that some people think they're channeling angels. Some of these people are acting like they're channeling archons, saying the same script: homeless bum, no good, thief, stinky, ugly, nobody loves you, blah, 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 repeat, 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 when Alex is at a low point and or making hurdles. So this is definitely a significant period in my life where I guess I'm learning more about the psychology of today's troll and really that energy that's behind a lot of these trolls, and seeing the pattern when they attack, when I'm at my lowest, and realizing that somehow their subconscious through some way is being informed of the moment when I'm vulnerable. So maybe there's ways that this information and what I'm sharing with you about myself that others will choose to use against me. This is all worth it if it's helping you understand. If it's helping you understand why maybe you're experiencing certain archonic interference in your life. Maybe I'm also helping some of you understand that your life in the city, if you literally want to live off the grid and do this at some point, you have to deal with the fact that there may be something about that lifestyle that's holding you back from actually doing it. And I will tell you that, living in a major city and living out here, those are different effects on my psychology and physical state of being. As long as there's no drama going on around me and being afraid of being kicked out of a certain spot, hey, for the most part, I relax under such conditions. I don't have any sex demons that I have to fulfill the second by going out and getting late tonight or this week somewhere with someone I don't know. I don't have to do that. You know what? In the city, it felt far more painful. Let's just say it, painful to be living a life of abstinence. It felt painful in the heart to not be hugging a woman and being recognized as an attractive male. Oh, Alex, yes, handsome 36-year-old. Oh, you're not a mutt. Oh no, you're a human being that's worth more than a YouTube comment or an email, an actual in the flesh hug. Now here in the state of Colorado, I'm okay with the fact that physically I am all alone because I am physically stronger pound for pound, literally. And so I need to actually make some strides psychologically and mentally with the websites and the YouTube channel to match what I'm feeling spiritually, to match what I'm feeling physically. So, anyways, I'm gonna cut it here. That's my goal, and I'm gonna keep moving this journey forward and sharing it with all of you. Alex Answer here, sign off the 4th day of April in the year 2016. We'll see you next time.